recording and let me hide the results of the poll and switch over to share my screen. So what I'm going to ask you, yes, some of you have already done this before the session even started, is really to type into the chat window the city and country where you are connecting from. And I'm hoping you can all see my, let me see, that you can all see my screen. And if you do, then you should see week 2 discussion group with today's date. Okay, so we have Nigeria. We'd like to know where in Nigeria, Tosin. Seattle, USA, Lahore, Pakistan, Douala, Cameroon, Nairobi, Kenya, Jigjiga, Ethiopia, Sur, Oman, Delta State, Nigeria. Thanks, Tosin. Jama, Somalia, Mongolia, Esau in the Gambia. All right, Manila, Philippines, Budva, Montenegro, India. This is always an amazing moment in the course to see this many, people from this many places all connected together. So, all right, let's get started. So, ground rules are right here. You've seen these before, and you will see them again. Just to clarify that we did send out a call. I believe it was on Tuesday or early Wednesday, for people to submit questions for Dr. Rudy Eggers, who's kindly joined us for this session, and a call for volunteers to present in a comment and we only consider the submissions, the expressions of interest that were submitted in a comment on the update in which we issued this call. So I hope that those of you some of you shared through WhatsApp, through various channels, we can only take expressions of interest in this specific way. Otherwise, it gets very complicated to manage, and I hope you'll understand that. Now, I'm also going to ask you to help your peers, because I see that Pascal, Pranit, Ranjitesh, even Paul are disconnected from the audio. So if some of you could private message them, or just because they can't hear us, if you could help them get connected to the audio, that would be much appreciated. All right, so the agenda will be, so we'll go through, we'll review your feedback, the feedback that you gave us about week 1. We'll give you again an overview of the schedule, a quick reminder of what's next, what your deadlines are. Then we'll look at questions submitted by participants, and then the bulk of the session will be dedicated to oral presentations by participants and discussion. Dr. Rudy Eggers will be asked to give his feedback and share his insights and experience and expertise in response to these presentations. During the Q&A, of course, we'll have him and the rest of the course team, subject matter experts, Jill Milbell and Alexander Karik, answer your questions as well. So that is the plan for this session. This is very dynamic. This is about your participation. There is no lecture in the session. In fact, most of you should have seen the 2-part slide presentation by Dr. Rudy Eggers about an introduction to the GRISP. So hopefully we have already a common language, and you've already spent a considerable amount of time going through the guidelines. Now, I did want to say, because we've been asking you to give and receive feedback in the community, in the updates that you initially made about your country of focus, we did get this feedback. I hope that there will be improvement in some colleagues' interactions when they receive a suggestion. So I thought this would be the occasion to actually remind you of the principles we've set up for non-judgmental collaboration. So basically treating people in the community when you're responding to someone the way you would want to be treated, or even the way they want to be treated, should be your basic guiding principle. And we're also very impressed by the level of interaction and by the depth of the suggestions and insights that you've shared, but did want to share this piece of feedback and our position on that as well. So week 1, this was the assignment. 63 of you posted updates, and this is the list of names. If you do not see your name on this list, let us know. But these are the individuals who posted by the deadline, of course. Now, to give you a sense now of what the countries of focus are, this is actually the countries of focus from 2016. So you could see that Tanzania, Nigeria, India, and the Gambia were the main countries of focus in that course. Yes, so for Mohammed, who says he posted the update, but his name is not there, just send us an email, or you'll find the list in the community. We're going to post it, and you can add yourself there along with a link to your update. And now, by contrast, here you can see a very different picture with the selected countries of focus. Again, in 2016, you had 41 countries, and this year we have 63. So with a larger group starting out. So these are the countries that you're most likely going to be working on in your creator project. This right now is just for the updates. Again, in 2016, these were the transformative investments that that were selected by participants. And in 2017, strategies to reach is again the top choice. Let me try to, yeah. So that is information to give you a sense of where your colleagues are at in this course. You know where you fit into this, of course. And then there are just others in the course, so this will give you some idea about that. And Noor Ali Mohammed, thank you for sharing that link to download the actual slide presentation. You'll find all the useful links in the materials panel, so do look at that. It's in the where it says go to training control panel. You have dashboard, activity, audio, chat, and you also have an item called materials. So look there to find the presentation, but you can just use the link shared by Noor Ali. And again, definitely encourage you to share resources together. So week 2 update instructions. For week 2, what you're doing this week, and some of you have already done it, again, is to scan the updates to identify 3 updates that list strategies in which you have professional experience. And then you're going to want to add a comment for each of these updates. And really, this is not about judging or criticizing your colleagues' updates. On the contrary, it's about sharing your experience of a specific strategy that they have prioritized, and then to suggest activities that are relevant. But the point of suggesting it, if you suggest an activity, it is because you have either evidence or experience or both as to why you think this activity will work. And keep in mind, you might be looking at updates from a colleague who is in a completely different country context that you may or may not be familiar with. So really, this is about giving feedback, and then of course for the authors of the updates, receiving feedback. You'll be doing this same giving and receiving feedback in the structured peer review that will be coming in in weeks 4 and 5 of the course. All right. So great. The week 1 feedback, as of this morning, we only had 19 people respond out of almost 100. So that was a bit disappointing. And I do want to say we need you to tell us how the course is going for you, even if you're really behind or if you're on top of things or somewhere in between. Your feedback is the only way we have of knowing how we are doing. We'll be giving you feedback about your work in the course, but and so with respect to difficulty, obviously the first week of the course, this is what you told us. So 1 is very easy, and you can see a preponderance of you have found the difficulty very low or very light in the course, and that's heartening. Week 1 is just getting started, getting comfortable, and that's just so we're pleased to see this result. The yeah, so Helen Nwanosike says that she had great feedback on her week 1 update from Alain Blaise, plus a helpful link. All right. Alex Ajagba says, where do we find the questionnaire for week 1? You will find it in the materials panel. So if someone would like to post that for Alex, that would be much appreciated. So relevance, this is what you told us. And the little one, the little graph is the 2016 answers to the same question. I think we had 26 responses there. So so again, you know, the relevance, the usefulness of preparing that week 1 update in terms of helping you think about the GRISP transformative investments in your country context. That's ultimately what we are interested in. Your level of motivation, and similar to last year, this is a highly motivated group. And you did tell us specific things about your motivation, such as, I'm very glad to be part of this course. I'd like to thank the GRISP team. There's the hope that there will be more chances to participate in future courses like this one to build my capacity. So, are you receiving the support you need in the course? And we've been working as hard as we can to make sure everyone is on board. It does require an effort from your part as well, though. And so many of you have put in that effort. There's no doubt about it. In terms of support, there was some appreciation, but there are also some problems that we cannot solve, such as connectivity. And we have many strategies we can share if you know that you're going to be having poor connectivity or bandwidth or intermittent access issues. We used to share those systematically. We now share them on request because most people already have their own strategies for working when they're in a less than ideal bandwidth environment. Now, this one is interesting. Most of you are finding that the time that you've dedicated to the course is less than what you expected or just right. And still a significant portion of you have spent more time than you expected. Now, we did get some really good, I thought, constructive suggestions, such as kindly consider having a course book in PDF format for participants to use along with the course. And we already have that, which is that the learning module for the course is something that you can save as a PDF, you can print or save as a PDF, and then it's virtually so like a course book that you can really use for self-study or for review or for catching up. We also have the catch-up guides, which are single-page summaries of all of your tasks and deliverables for a specific week. So yeah, ensuring that all people join are registered. We've certainly been trying to do that, and we've got nearly everyone on board with this higher proportion than we did last year. Now, to give you a sense of where we are in the week of 23rd of October. And here you can see what you should be doing in Creator, what you should be doing in the community, the skills that you'll need to use Scholar correctly in this in this week. And of course, the big news this week is that you are starting on your Creator project. And really, my advice to you is, if you want to make it all the way through this course, do not wait until the final days of week 4 to start working on your Creator project. It will be very difficult to do the kind of intensive thinking, data, sort of data gathering, preparation, writing, drafting, reviewing, revising that you need to have done in order to submit a draft project that your colleagues will then peer review. Having said that, yes, it is a draft project that you are going to put together. You will have the final week of the course to use the feedback and inputs you've received from your colleagues to actually finalize your work and make it as close to perfect as you are able to with the time that you have allotted to the course. So next week is actually the big, the first big deadline, which will be the 3rd of November, which will be to submit your project draft for peer review. So that is coming up very quickly. Do not underestimate how fast time flies as you begin to work on your Creator project. And of course, as usual, the other piece of advice I can share is look at the tutorial videos. There are some things, some steps you have to take that are not intuitive, and you have to do them in a specific way, and those instructions are found in the video tutorials. If you are unable to stream YouTube, those videos are available in the course resources folder.